Roscoe Conkling, Fatty Arbuckle was an American silent film actor, comedian, director, and screenwriter. Starting at the Selig Polyscope Company, he eventually moved to Keystone Studios, where he worked with Mabel Normand and Harold Lloyd. He mentored Charlie Chaplin and discovered Buster Keaton and Bob Hope. Arbuckle was one of the most popular silent stars of the 1910s, and soon became one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood, signing a contract in 1920 with Paramount Pictures for $1 million. Between November 1921 and April 1922, Arbuckle was the defendant in 3 widely publicized trials for the rape and manslaughter of actress Virginia Rappe. Rappe had fallen ill at a party hosted by Arbuckle at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco in September 1921. She died 4 days later. Arbuckle was accused by Rappe's acquaintance of raping and accidentally killing Rappe. After the first 2 trials, which resulted in hung juries, Arbuckle was acquitted in the 3rd trial and received a formal written statement of apology from the jury. Despite Arbuckle's acquittal, the scandal has mostly overshadowed his legacy as a pioneering comedian. Following the trials, his films were banned and he was publicly ostracized. Although the ban on his films was lifted within a year, Arbuckle only worked sparingly through the 1920s. He later worked as a film director under the alias William Goodrich. He was finally able to return to acting, making short 2-reel comedies in 1932 for Warner Brothers. He died in his sleep of a heart attack in 1933 at age 46. Reportedly on the same day he signed a contract with Warner Brothers to make a feature film. Early life. Roscoe Arbuckle was born in Smith Center, Kansas, one of 9 children of Molly and William Goodrich Arbuckle. He weighed in excess of 13 pounds at birth and, as both parents had slim builds, his father believed the child was not his. Consequently, the man named the baby for a politician whom he despised, Republican Senator Roscoe Conkling of New York. The birth was traumatic for Molly and resulted in chronic health problems that contributed to her death 12 years later. When Arbuckle was nearly 2, his family moved to Santa Ana, California. Arbuckle had a wonderful, singing voice and was extremely agile. At the age of 8, with his mother's encouragement, he first performed on stage with Frank Bacon's company during their stopover in Santa Ana. Arbuckle enjoyed performing and continued on until his mother's death in 1899 when he was 12. His father, who had always treated him harshly, now refused to support him and Arbuckle got work doing odd jobs in a hotel. Arbuckle was in the habit of singing while he worked and was overheard by a customer who was a professional singer. The customer invited him to perform in an amateur talent show. The show consisted of the audience judging acts by clapping or jeering, with bad acts pulled off the stage by a shepherd's crook. Arbuckle sang, danced, and did some clowning around, but did not impress the audience. He saw the crook emerge from the wings and to avoid it somersaulted into the orchestra pit in obvious panic. The audience went wild, and he not only won the competition but began a career in vaudeville. In 1904, Sid Grauman invited Arbuckle to sing in his new Unique Theatre in San Francisco, beginning a long friendship between the two. He then joined the Pantages Theatre Group touring the west coast of the United States and in 1906 played the Orpheum Theatre in Portland, Oregon in a vaudeville troupe organized by Leon Errol. Arbuckle became the main act and the group took their show on tour. August 6, 1908, Arbuckle married Minta Durfee, the daughter of Charles Warren Durfee and Flora Adkins. Durfee starred in many early comedy films, often with Arbuckle. They reportedly made a strange couple as Minta was short and petite while Arbuckle was tall and very obese. Arbuckle then joined the Roscoe Burbank Stock Vaudeville Company and went on a tour of China and Japan, returning in early 1909. Arbuckle began his film career with the Selig Polyscope Company in July 1909 when he appeared in Ben's Kid. Arbuckle appeared sporadically in Selig one-reelers until 1913. moved briefly to Universal Pictures and became a star in producer-director Mack Sennett's Keystone Cops comedies, working his way up through the acting ranks to become a lead player and director. Although his large size was undoubtedly part of his comedic appeal, Arbuckle was self-conscious about his weight and refused to use it to get cheap laughs. For example, he would not allow himself to be stuck in a doorway or chair. Arbuckle was a talented singer. After Enrico Caruso heard him sing, he urged the comedian to give up this nonsense you do for a living. With training you could become the second greatest singer in the world. Screen comedian. Despite his massive physical size, Arbuckle was remarkably agile and acrobatic. Director Mack Sennett, when recounting his first meeting with Arbuckle, noted that he skipped up the stairs as lightly as Fred Astaire, and, without warning, went into a featherlight step, clapped to his hands and did a backward somersault as graceful as a girl tumbler. His comedies are noted as rollicking and fast-paced, have many chase scenes, and feature sight gags. Arbuckle was fond of the pie in the face, a comedy cliché that has come to symbolize silent film-era comedy itself. The earliest known use of this gag was in the June 1913 Keystone one reeler A Noise from the Deep, starring Arbuckle and frequent screen partner Mabel Normand. The first known pie in the face on screen is in Ben Turpin's Mr. Flip in 1909. However, the oldest known thrown pie in the face is Normand's. In 1914, Paramount Pictures made the then unheard-of offer of $1,000 a day plus 25% of all profits and complete artistic control to make movies with Arbuckle and Normand. The movies were so lucrative and popular that in 1918 they offered Arbuckle a 3-year, $3 million contract. By 1916, Arbuckle's weight and heavy drinking were causing serious health problems. An infection that developed on his leg became a carbuncle so severe that doctors considered amputation. Although Arbuckle kept his leg and lost 80 pounds, managing to get his weight down to 266 pounds, he became addicted to the painkiller morphine. Following his recovery, Arbuckle started his own film company, Comic, in partnership with Joseph Schenck. Although Comic produced some of the best short pictures of the silent era, in 1918 Arbuckle transferred his controlling interest in the company to Buster Keaton and accepted Paramount's $3 million offer to make up to 18 feature films over 3 years. Arbuckle disliked his screen nickname, which he had been given because of his substantial girth. Fatty had also been Arbuckle's nickname since school. It was inevitable, he said. He weighed 185 pounds when he was 12. Fans also called Roscoe the Prince of Wales and the Balloonatic. However, the name Fatty identifies the character that Arbuckle portrayed on screen, not Arbuckle himself. When Arbuckle portrayed a female, the character was named Miss Fatty, as in the film Miss Fatty's Seaside Lovers.